Hello, welcome back to Being in Nothingness. Last episode we kinda had a big problem with one of the levels, but we got through it eventually. And so yeah, we're finally done with this one. Next, we are going to do the other 4 being puzzles in this world, I guess. So yeah, how many was last episode? This time I'm gonna do Slippery When Wet. We have icicles and rollers, 6 beans total. No destruction of... Ooh, no, you can freeze rollers and destroy them. Okay, and we simply want you here. Okay, but I understand what the puzzle is trying to tell me. Ice is slippery, so it will slide across this button, meaning that because I need to be holding it down. Well, I either need it to be holding it down or I need it to be pressed 3 times. How would I do that? I don't think so. Intuition tells me I need something to stop exactly here. Or it could be, yeah, it could be... Because we don't have the ability to move beans at all, I'm pretty sure icicles cannot go past this area outside. We need something solid here. It is probably a roller, but that could be done in multiple ways. It could be a roller rolling in this direction and stopping here. It could be a frozen roller hitting something at this point, turning into a bean and then being shot into a roller again. Is that it? Possibly, yeah, I would say so. If we assume we only have 1 icicle, that leaves 4 rollers. If we have 2 icicles, then that leaves 2 rollers. And I think that's unlikely. This bridge needs to be made of roller blocks. Frozen rollers. So there's already 2 rollers here that need to be there, I believe. So there's already 2 rollers, and then a third object here is probably another roller. I don't see how you could put an icicle here. So it's probably another roller. Okay. So that's it. We have more holes here, which makes sense, I guess. I'm wondering if I could get... Could I also get a roller to stop here when rolling from this direction? That feels unlikely. I'm gonna guess this hole only exists to prevent me from being able to use this wall over here. Yeah. It's a pretty big stretch out from the main island. Okay. I mean, what can we do? Unlike clouds, rollers actually have movement abilities, so... Sorry, I need to turn on the grid for this. Yeah, let's use the grid for this one because... I'm gonna need to check. Oops. So rollers can roll into... here, for example, which means I don't need to block the ice or anything. So, like, okay, this is a... We definitely want to create a bridge at some point. And then somehow, something stops here. Either a frozen block, or an actual roller itself. How would I do that? It would need to hit against something here, but that doesn't really do anything good for me. Right? I don't know, actually. Like, if I had 2 rollers... they can kind of collide with each other, and that will allow a stopping point somewhere in between, right? Is it possible to create a roller here and then create another roller that rolls at the same time so that they collide when one of the rollers are here? That seems kind of unlikely. If a roller was simply stopped here, then the second roller would land here. If I were here... If a roller were here, I mean, and another roller was here, and they collided with each other, they would collide in the middle, right? They always collide in the middle no matter where I am. So even if I'm standing here or here, they collide in the middle because they both travel the exact same amount of spaces within the same amount of time. Which would be around here, which would not be useful. To have something collide here, it's kind of as if I would like... How would I do that? How would I do that? No, I don't think a collision would work, would it? Collision... No, because a collision requires you to start rolling first. But if you started rolling first... I can only stand here at most. Which means that it is during this movement from this spot to this spot where I can stand here and be safe. I have to move away after that. And then that is a time where you can roll in this direction to here. If I then walk away, when I'm behind the roller, if the roller was here for example, I don't have the line of sight to activate you. Meaning that that is a maximum discrepancy I can create between the two rollers. It's exactly one turn of discrepancy. Or 2 spaces. Actually, 2 spaces? Or 1 space? 1 space. Which means that their meeting point will be 1 space pushed over to the right, which is nowhere close enough to get to here. So I don't think that's the answer. I really do wonder what I can put here though. If I got a frozen roller here and then hit and got to hit another one here, I'll be done. Could I keep doing that? Hold on. No, I can only do that once. I'm wondering if I could generate an infinite setup to keep pushing a roller from here back by 1 until it reaches here. But I don't think that's how it works, right? Also, the other problem is, how do I get it so that a roller could roll in this direction without being frozen? At maximum, the roller has to either be here or here. Meaning the freezing has to take place here. But how do I get that to happen without any further freezing in front? Wherever I put an icicle, it's pretty difficult to make it so that this frozen aura, this icicle aura, is on the right side of the icicle. Because that kind of requires the icicle to be around here. And I have no idea how that would happen. What happens if a roller hits an icicle? I don't think anything happens, right? It just collides. Yeah, it's a solid block. Okay, fair enough. What else can I do? Yeah, roll into that. Of course, if I could break an ice block here as well, then a backward rolling would also work. But that wouldn't make any sense. Wait a minute, I have some idea. Do I? I could technically move beans by having frozen rollers break in places. So I want to put an icicle here, for example. Oops. I just need to do this twice. Because that will put 2 cyan beans in that direction. And therefore I could create an icicle there. Which would make it so that it might become okay to put something here. But no, I always need a bridge, right? I'm always going to need a bridge. Like, that's 100% true. I need a bridge of 2 somethings. 2 ice blocks, and the only thing that can be frozen is a roller. So we have to dedicate 2 frozen beans to that. 2 frozen beans? 2 cyan beans to that. We're left with 4 beans. What can we use that for? I mean, one object will definitely be here. Regardless if it's a frozen block, an icicle, or a roller. That would have to take up an extra 1 bean from our inventory. Which means these 3 beans are probably non-negotiable. They are used up. So now the question becomes, what can I do with the remaining 3 beans that I have? I theoretically could also be playing around with 4 beans. Maybe even 6. But because I know that these 2 beans are lost forever, I can't use them for anything else. Whereas the one over here... Oh, that's not true. I can use them for something, then kill them as frozen blocks and then use them here. Which is always the case for any frozen object. But the end state only needs... But the end state requires 3 cyan beans simultaneously. Yeah, 3 cyan beans simultaneously as roller form. Meaning I can only have 1 icicle at the end of the puzzle, and because icicles cannot be killed, at least to my knowledge, you can't create a second icicle. Because the second icicle will make it so that it's impossible for you to have 3 beans as rollers. So the idea now is only 1 icicle. I can put a roller in multiple places outside of my range. Like, for example, I can put a roller here. What good would that do for me? It would just roll back and forth, I guess. What happens when a frozen... Hold on. I need to check, just quickly. What happens when a frozen block hits a roller? Does that do anything? Oops, that is the wrong position. No. Okay. It's really bad. Hold on. There you go. Nothing happens, right? It just cracks on the roller and the roller doesn't do anything. I guess, yeah, the roller doesn't do anything. If the roller can see me, the roller will roll into me, but that doesn't do anything. That puts a bean here, I guess. And yeah, then this freezes, which allows me to use that bean again. Is there any point of a roller being there? Maybe, if a roller was here, it could roll backwards and then, like, land against you. And to turn you into a roller. But that will only work best if the roller was here to begin with, so that the other roller will be here. There's no... There's no like way I can keep doing that over and over again. Yeah. A roller that keeps an ice block that keeps going this way would just not work. A freezing point here would have to be here. I don't know how it put an icicle here. No idea how we do that. I suppose an icicle could be here, but then we run into the same problem where I would have to have two icicles, which we know already breaks the puzzle. One icicle. I can't go over there, clearly. So what could cause that stoppage? I'll think like maybe like a bean here that got shot into a actual roller. Right? Then you would stop here. Well, how would I get a bean here then? How would I get a bean there? That doesn't look possible. Unless I already cracked a piece of ice against something here, which would have solved the puzzle already. So it can't be that. I keep thinking it has to be a horizontally moving roller that gets hit by something. But I can't tell if that's true or not. Like, how would I get something here then? I could get a roller here. But then what? A second roller would land here. I kind of want this roller back, but that's not possible, clearly. Ah, what about a frozen object? So roller here, frozen roller smacks into this, becomes a bean. The roller here comes back. Then this can become a roller. And then a frozen roller, which is the one we just pulled back, can smack into this alive roller, destroy it into a bean, this roller comes back, and we can do that infinitely. Okay. Gotcha. It's a conveyor-ish system? I don't know, but that does only require one roller. It still begs the question, how do we get a roller here? Because we haven't done that yet. We need a bridge here, so there must already have been some frozen rollers along this line. Then we need a non-frozen roller here. And I don't know how to do that. Aha, I can do that with a blockage. Aha, okay. Gotcha. Okay. We should be good to go, I think. I just need a solid place to do my things. I think this is a good place for an icicle. No, because the blockage needs to... this line cannot be where the blockage is. The blockage has to be... This is not good because it will block the way out. In front, maybe? Yeah, in front could work. So, okay, hold on, grid. Okay, I think this is a good spot. Is it? The problem is that all the spots are kind of... No, it's not a good spot. What? How about... No, not here. How about here? No, I mean, like, we've tried this. This doesn't work, does it? So what I would like to do is that I can put a roller here, and this would block here, which allows me to send an actual roller through. I think that actually works as I push up here, and that will be fine. Alright, this is a good spot. Okay, I'm gonna leave grid on, just to save myself. We need to make a bridge first. So bridge goes here. Okay. Bridge again. Alright. Now we need an actual roller, so what we should do is we should block this ice, this aura. Put an actual live roller to go in this direction. And then break like so. I should be able to make it up. Yes, I am. Okay, I can actually get a roll to roll down this way. And I can push this way. Okay. This should allow me to walk past here because the frozen block is in the way of your line of sight. Which means you will do that. And then you can roll back. And I can set you to become an actual roller now. Very cool. Okay, and this should be an infinitely repeatable process. Actually, I could probably just stand here, I think. Okay. And this should be it. So a bean here can just be shot into an actual roller, which will stay in place. There you go. That was a fun puzzle. I had to figure out that I had to make a machine. Very nice. And we finally opened up the altar. Is it just me, or is it like to unlock the altar? You always have to solve everything except the 5-beam puzzles. Like the requirement for unlocking that is always it's always the sum of all the puzzles here minus the 5 beans. Is that true? Fairly certain it was true for the vines, honestly. I'm pretty sure it was true for that. Anyway. Alright, that was a cool puzzle. Alright, moving on. Let us go to the next one. We have 3 more to go. Let's start from here. I think Clouds on the Horizon looks very daunting. It's a big rectangle. And big rectangles are always daunting. So let's leave the big rectangle alone and go for the smaller rectangle. This one is not too much smaller, but it looks smaller. Turn the corner is really small in comparison. Which also makes me fear it, because small things that are 5 beans in difficulty are... Phew. Yeah, this is so minimal, and yet I think I'm gonna have a hard time with this one. I'm probably gonna have a hard time with all of them. Let's take a look at this one. We have 4 recipes, 4 different beans. What is it called? Little bean in the big pond. Big pond. Some beans. This permanently closes you. And I need what appears to be at least 2 explosions. Okay, at least 2 explosions. I have an icicle and some stuff. I cannot shoot through here, but I can shoot through here, which is interesting. Cloud over here means I can't bring anything through. And once I'm here, it looks like this will block my way back. I have 1 vine. Okay. If I had a vine pull something through... Actually, because it will pull horizontally through, it would be difficult to freeze. Okay, I have a question. What would happen if, for example, an object gets frozen while being... I mean, I probably have answered this question before. What happened when hold on, I'm gonna make an actual bomb first. When an object that's frozen gets pulled by a vine while in here, will it drop the object or will it just be frozen here? It is frozen there. Interesting. So it doesn't get pulled over, it doesn't drop and form a solid thing here. Okay. I have 3 bombs. Why would I have 3 bombs? Also, why little bean in a big pond? Well, because I have 2... Ah, I get it. I have 2... I need 2 explosions here. I want to get 1 bean across to join with this other yellow bean to make the 2 explosions. Of course, that is a big problem because of this cloud. Which means we have a couple things we can do now. I have another cloud here, actually. Why is that the case? Why do I have another cloud here? No idea. The other option is... a... Yeah, anything passing through here, if it's a bean form, this cloud would hit it. Another option is a vine pulling some stuff through here. Unlikely, but technically a vine here could pull a bomb to destroy 2 blocks out of 3. That would still require 1 other bean to be brought over individually. And the reason for that is because a second bomb being pulled by the vine cannot be... Well, no, this one would be... This vine would be dead. And then somehow I would need to pull another bomb in. I suppose... From where? I suppose I could... No, I don't think I can. Okay. So it looks like the logical thing to do at this point is to try and bring exactly one yellow bean over. That is all I'm looking for. And then somehow also just kill the vine after the vine grabs the second yellow bean. Okay, so yeah, idea is vine pulls yellow bean over, then pulls bomb over. The bomb is the easy part, because I'm pretty sure a bomb doesn't care about you. It is the bean that cares about, not the bean, the cloud. Okay. Could I have a frozen object here? So frozen here. Seems tough. There's a lot of frozen objects. We had to save both yellow beans, which leaves only a frozen cloud as our only freezable object. If you were to somehow bridge that out, that would never be far enough to step in your line, so nothing can block. I just wanna, like, you know, check over here. If I put a vine here, the yellow bean turns into a bomb and then gets destroyed. So that's the big issue. That's the big issue. Why is there a second bomb in the other side? In theory, the puzzle would be identical if there wasn't a second bomb here. Like, if instead, you only needed to break this once and you only had one other... You had no yellow bean here, the puzzle would flow exactly the same. Unless somewhere in the solution, this yellow bean becomes relevant. Also possible that I might need a bit more space to do my stuff. So the reason why there's yellow bean here is so that I have to clear out these 3 blocks first, giving me enough space to work with the vine such that another bean can be brought in. I guess that's another reason why there could be a yellow bean here that's relevant. Is that you can't carry a yellow bean over unless these are all cleared out. In which case, you know, why not just make more space? I don't know. Maybe that's just how the puzzle is. Maybe the puzzle is cheesable otherwise. Yeah. Whenever we talk about like the uniqueness of a puzzle solution, a good puzzle rarely has extra elements to it, unless it is a very good misdirection, or unless it is meant to de-cheese something. So it's either like solidly in the part of the solution, part of a good misdirection, or preventing additional solutions. Otherwise, there's no reason it should be there in a good puzzle. There's no reason for it to be there at all. So yeah, okay. What would that mean? I don't know. I'm assuming a cloud is supposed to be a frozen object. That's all I think it's going to do. Because of these tiled objects, you cannot put a cloud here, and therefore you can't put a frozen cloud there. You could put a bomb that's frozen in here though. But why am I looking at a frozen object as a bridge, if we know that that's not going to get me very far? It seems like once again I want to block your vision. Yeah, okay, like, let's see. Let's say I have a cloud bean that's here, and then an icicle that's here. We don't want to turn into an actual cloud yet. But what I want to do is get the vine to pull it over. So what happens at this point is that at the same time as you hitting you will get frozen. So this will become a frozen cloud immediately. However, will that cause you to drop it? Or will that cause you to cling on to it? That, surprisingly, drops the cloud. I think it's because when the being gets transformed, you let go. The freezing comes after the transformation. Which is why rather than freezing your arm, you freeze whatever you let go of. Which causes a drop. That makes a lot of logical sense. But that doesn't do anything good for us. Like, of course, ideally, I want this to be able to hold something up. And then I have a third bomb. A third bomb once again. Actually, what is a third bomb for? The third bomb does something. Oh, blows up the vine, right. Third bomb blows up the vine. Okay, so what happens here? I forgot to make the icicle an actual icicle. So what happens here is that you will get one frozen bomb that's vertically here. Aha, so maybe the bomb that I'm holding right now is meant to reposition you. So I destroy you, and then I reposition you above. So that happens. Then you get a standing frozen bomb here. Whoa, look at all the objects on that. Apparently the ice block and the bomb itself are two separate objects. That would... Oh, wait, what? Oh yeah, no, you also let go of it. Right, the same interaction happens. So your arm doesn't get frozen. You let go of the object which gets frozen. Your arm stays fine. And then nothing happens because you don't grab that. So this theoretically will block your line of sight, but requires two objects to do so, two monsters. There is theoretically an explosion that can occur to destroy you, which also destroys this. Aha! Could that happen down here, so that the explosion could be here while the vine is here? Okay. So then, I would want the icicle to be here. I would want the beans to be one above, so that the vine can carry through here. One below, and the other one as a blockage. Okay, so this looks like a good setup. I want a vine here. This vine will do its thing. That doesn't get frozen. Oh, this block can't get frozen unless from here. Okay, then we just need to move the icicle. Wait, no, but... Yeah, no, this is fine. Icicle here is also a decent spot. I'm afraid that might have problems with this bean, but because we know this bean will never actually... Wait, no, we have a problem. This beam will never actually get shot by you, so it will never actually get frozen at this point anyway. But now I think I know what the actual problem is. So you'll do your thing, you'll do the funny. I can blow you up around this time. So that will actually do some really cool stuff. The actual problem is that when the vine eats that, I have no idea how to get that bomb for myself. No idea how to do that. That's just not possible, I think. I don't think that's possible. I only need one bomb left, but that bomb is like... To get it across, I'm just gonna need to somehow... Yeah, I don't know how I would do it. I do feel that's... I do feel like this is related to the solution, though. This feels good. We're just missing something. Yeah, and then here we don't get any bombs at all, so... No. And then, you know... If I need a bomb here, it can't be a vine eating a bomb here, because how would a vine here eat a bomb from there? I need to get a bomb without it. Yeah, that's just not doable. I could theoretically get the bomb to go down this column, but that's also useless. Okay. Then what am I missing? I can't do it the other way around, because this blockage must be blocking something from below. Ah, that looks really clean. I will just say, that looks really, really clean. It's not finicky to pull off, despite it looking like it was. I think like when I first imagined it in my head, it was pretty ridiculous of an idea, but actually pulling it off wasn't too bad. There weren't too many timing related events there. I'm gonna save this as a bookmark in case I want to get back to here, in case I get any ideas at this point. Is there any other bookmark that I want to save actually? I think before this. Yeah, I want to save this setup. I know exactly what happens after this. It's probably something like this that would happen. If I did it the other way around, the exact same thing would happen. So the order of these two wouldn't matter in this scenario. Yeah, the order wouldn't matter in this scenario at all. It could be a frozen cloud above and a frozen bomb below. Wouldn't matter. How about a frozen icicle? How about that? We might have some issue. Like, yeah, I suppose one thing that could happen is that the vine could then eat the icicle, get frozen, and I could push it away and reveal the final bean. Right? But to set that up here, how would that work? I need the frozen aura to hit one of these three spots. This spot from here seems okay, but then that requires the vine to be here. At which point I'll have no idea how to destroy 3 of these blocks plus you at the same time. Although, yeah. Yeah, I don't think the math works out here. I'm wondering from this setup, is it possible that the bean and the icicle are both eatable from one of these positions? So like, they would have to be along the same row. But importantly, the bean has to come first. So like, you know, this seems valid-ish. But in this scenario, the yellow bean will have to be consumed first, which is difficult. So if you consume the yellow bean first, I would have the yellow bean right here. I believe. So I'm just gonna check what the bookmark I bookmarked was. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, then what? So I need to now set up a setup where I can drag and consume a yellow bean first, then at the same position also eat the icicle? That doesn't feel possible at all. Actually, I want to know what happens when I consume an icicle. That's when an icicle falls into the water. Does it just die? Or is it some special everything becomes ice sort of deal? Oh, nothing. Okay. It would be really funny if an icicle in water froze the entire pond. That would be really funny. There's no way I can put a bean under the icicle because... yeah. So if we were to set that up, the icicle would have to sort of be in this column, and then the yellow beam would have to be in this column, at least. Which makes it very hard for a frozen object to be here. To block you. So like, this is the best row I can think of. Like, suppose I grabbed... No, I mean... That's not it either. Okay, I'm probably gonna think about this. I don't want to keep spending my time here. I think I've made decent progress in the puzzle so far with this setup that I've discovered. I just need to find a way to convert that into a solution. If it turns out to be the right setup at all, which hopefully it is. Hopefully I'm close. But yeah, I don't think I'll be solving this puzzle today, so I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, until next time, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.